Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca. Let's talk about makeup. This is my finale for the Throwback 30 project pan. So this is the project that started back on July 28th of last year and ended just a few days ago. This is a fantastic ladies collab project that Jessica Lee came up with as kind of a way to allow us to participate in more projects than is really feasible for the average person. What this project does is it brings together prompts from 30 different projects. Some of these projects are no longer running, some of them are currently ongoing, but this way we kind of get to avoid FOMO without driving ourselves crazy by trying to participate in too many project pans. So this is the finale for this project for me. I have actually managed to finish a few products since we last spoke last month. I'm going to show those to you, let you know what the weights are, and then I'm going to talk briefly about the products I wasn't able to complete, and I'll give you a final tally, how I felt about the project. I do intend to participate in the 4th year of this project. Going forward, I have not yet filmed my intro. I actually joined Throwback 30 on August of last year, and I think I probably will end up doing that this year as well, just because I have not had the time to film an intro for this project. I'm barely squeaking in with this finale here. So let's talk about the products that I've managed to finish since I last updated you on this project. There are a couple of products here that I really was not sure I was going to be able to complete, and you're going to recognize both of them. One of them was for the 7 Deadly Pans. I rolled this in for Wrath. This is a little deluxe size of the One Size Go Off Makeup Dissolving Mist. This thing just went and went and went and went. I mean, I got so much use out of this, so much more than I expected to. It was not my regular makeup remover. This was something that I pulled out when I had something extra stubborn to remove, like lashes, waterproof mascara, lots of glitter, anything just really that needed a little bit more of a heavy duty remover. I went for this one and it worked really, really well for that. I have been expecting this to run out for the last couple of months, honestly, and every time I got a full application out of it, I was a little bit surprised. I actually laughed out loud when it finally ran out on me because I had been expecting that for so long and it finally happened. It is completely out of product at this point. I actually really did quite enjoy this and would consider purchasing a full size, especially given how much use I got out of this one. So when it came to the project, it was weighing 49.29 grams. The final weight on this empty can is 31.22 grams. So I used up 18.07 grams of product in this project. And that was over 47 uses. This was not a brand new product when I rolled it into this project. I had already gotten some significant use on this little can before I rolled it into this project. But the fact that I was able to get an additional 47 uses out of it, pretty impressive. I actually really did enjoy this. Will consider purchasing a full size. I also managed to finish my Pacifica Tahitian Garden perfumed hair and body mist. I use this as a room and linen spray because I just prefer it more around me than I do on me. It is a very nice scent and it is finally gone. Here, I was marking it here underneath the label. So this is where we started with this bottle here. And then this marking here was where we were at last month, and now she is completely empty. This was actually quite full when it started. This entire thing, that was a total of about 88 uses. It rolled into the project at 192.18 grams, and this empty bottle is now weighing 37.35 grams. So that's a total of 154.83 grams of product used in this project, and she is done. So happy to have completed that one finally. Another thing that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to finish, like the One Size. Of all of the products that I rolled into this project, I think this is the one I'm probably the most excited about having completed, and it is my ColourPop Drop of a Hat Super Shock Blush. As you know, I worked on this in a really dedicated fashion last year, attempting to use it up as part of my 24 and 24. It was rolled perpetually into my color pan project, and I was unable to get it done. We still had a little bit of a ring of product around it at the beginning of the year, and so I went ahead and rolled it into this project. But as I continued to try to use it, I started to have my doubts. I did not know if I was going to be able to finish it by the end of the project, and I finally did. Guys, I finally finished this blush. She is empty. I am so incredibly pleased. I love it so much that when I realized it was no longer available on the ColourPop website, I went and purchased one off of Amazon. I actually have it here, and I have actually used it a couple of times since I finished this one. This just such a beautiful pinky corally golden shade. Now, I had one of you ask me to actually swatch these side by side, and before I completely finished this up, I did just that. And to my surprise, there is a little bit of a difference in those swatches. I'm going to go ahead and insert the photo here. So the swatch on the right, that is the original one that I have been working on for the last few years, and the one on the left is the new one that I have purchased. And as you can see, they are not identical. The new one that I have in my possession is just a little bit peachier, a little bit more golden, and there's a little tiny bit more pink in the original version of this blush. Now, would I prefer that these were identical? Absolutely, because I love this blush so much, but I really, honestly, after wearing this one a few times, I really don't think that there's a whole lot of visible difference once it's blended out on the cheek. So you can definitely see a difference in the tone there in the swatches, but again, it gives a very, very similar effect on the cheek. I am super happy that I went and snapped this up when I was able to. I have no idea why ColourPop has discontinued their Super Shock blush formula. To me, that's just ridiculous. It's one of the best products they have ever had in their lineup. I have no idea what's going on over there at ColourPop. Bring back the Super Shock blushes, and not the matte ones. The matte ones were okay. These ones, the glowy ones, were absolutely gorgeous. The formula is beautiful. I have no idea. ColourPop, bring it back. In any case, when it rolled into the project, it was weighing 24.40 grams. It is now weighing 23.59 grams. That is a total of 0.81 grams of product used up in this project since the beginning of the year, and that was over a total of 27 uses. Super happy to have finally finished that blush. It was with me I was working on that for a while. Another one that I was able to finish in this last month was my e.l.f. Ride or Die lip balm. This was in the shade Just Peachy. She is all finished. I had my doubts about that one too, to be honest. This is the one that I had rolled in for the Women Who Rock project pan, and the prompt that I chose from that project was Fight Song by Rachel Platten. The idea is to choose a product that is a fight for you to use, and this one, the formula is so thick on this balm that it was just a real struggle up till the very end to get out any product up out of the nozzle, and it was a fight every time, especially in the winter when my room was cold. I did find that it was helpful to stick it in my bra for a couple of minutes and warm it up, and that kind of helped decant the product a little bit more easily, but this one was a little bit of a struggle. I finally finished this one after 113 uses. When it rolled into the project, it was at 13.61 grams, and it is now at 4.26 grams, so that's a total of 9.35 grams used total over that 113 uses in this project, and it is finished. A product that I should have updated you on last month, but forgot to, because I believe that I completed this in either late May or early June, and that is my Joico Joyful Volumizing Shampoo. She is completely empty at this point. So I rolled this one in for This Is Fantasy, and it kind of fit into two different categories. Medusa, which was a hair care product, and Unicorn, which is a product that I had not yet used. And this fit both of those bills. I managed to finish it completely. It took me roughly 61 uses. Now, the reason why I say roughly is because there was a period of time last year where I was very ill and I was not wearing any makeup. I wasn't tracking my products, but I was still showering. And that was over a period of about 3 months. And so I'm estimating that I used this about 30 times during that period of time. But I'm not 100% sure. So that is just an estimate. I know that since then, I have used it 31 times. So we're counting this as 61 uses, give or take a few. So that was back in late May, early June, I think. But more recently, I finished the volumizing conditioner version of this. I actually finished this, I think I used it for the last time last night. This one took me a little bit longer simply because I don't use as much conditioner as I do shampoo, especially since I cut my hair. I rolled this one in for the Disney Princess project pan, and the prompt was Merida, whose colors are dark green, or teal. So I rolled it in for the packaging. Now this one I had a similar issue with that I did with the shampoo. There was a period of about 3 months where I was not really tracking my uses. And so I am estimating I used this about 30 times during that 3-month period. Since then, I have used it an additional 46 times for a total of at least 76 uses in this project, and she is done. So happy to have finished that one as well. Another one that I could have updated you on last month, but I completely spaced it, was my Lancome blush. This is in the shade Shimmer Pink Fling. It is this beautiful, soft, cool pink, and I rolled this one in for 20 uses. Now that is not a ton for a year-long project, but I did not have this in for the entire year. I rolled this in a little bit later on with the knowledge that I was going to be trying to complete this one here. So I tried to shoot for something that was a challenge, but still attainable. And as of last month, I had met my 20 use goal and actually exceeded it by a bit. So the goal was 20 uses, and I actually managed to use it 26 times. So really enjoy this blush. It is beautiful, it is pigmented, it blends out like a dream, and it is quite long wearing. One of my favorite things to do with this blush is when I'm wearing a cooler look is to wear a warmer, maybe a slightly deeper blush on the back part of my cheek, and then just pop this on the apples of the cheek. So pretty, such a lovely flush of color. Really enjoyed playing with that one. This will probably pop up in some more projects. I don't know if we're gonna shoot for panning it this year. That might be fun, trying to pan this one. I really did enjoy using it, so that is a possibility. But we did meet our goal on that one. And those are all the products that I managed to complete on since our last update. I want to quickly go over the handful of products that I was not able to complete, starting with my Pixi by Petra Correction Concentrate in Brightening Peach, which I rolled in for the 50 Shades of Pink project pan. As you can tell, there's just an enormous amount of product in here. However, I didn't start using it until just the last few months. I've been pretty sleepless since I had my baby. The dark circles are popping a little more than they normally do. Usually I don't really feel the need necessarily for a corrector. But this is a really, really nice one. And it is one that I feel like really does the job without having to go over top of it with another concealer. So I really have enjoyed this last few months. Unfortunately, 3 months is just not enough time to get through this amount of product. There is a lot of product in here. We did manage to use it 61 times and hit jar there at the bottom. You can see a little bit of daylight. So I am pleased with the progress that I got on this one, but unfortunately we were not able to complete it. For Birthstone Beauty, I rolled in this Pat McGrath eyeshadow, which is found in my Mothership Bijou Brilliance Starstruck Splendor palette. It is this one right here. This is Emerald Eclipse. I rolled that in for a measly 15 uses and still did not manage to meet that goal. In my defense, it was a pretty late roll-in, but still, I only managed to use it 8 times in this project, which is pretty pathetic. So that one was an unequivocal fail. Next, for the project Happy Hour, I chose the prompt Ladies Night, and for that I rolled in my Stila Glitter and Glow in the shade Kitten Karma. I barely touched this. I think I used it maybe twice, maybe 3 times. So this is a very, very beautiful glittery liquid eyeshadow. I love this thing. It is so gorgeous. It is one of my favorite ways to add glitter to an eyeshadow look, but to be perfectly honest, given the illness I experienced last year, then the pregnancy, and then the baby, I just have not been wearing a lot of glitter. And this is just where we're at. It was not something that I felt compelled to reach for on very many occasions. So this one we did not make much of a dent in at all. Another flat out fail was the product I rolled in for the Mean Girl Quotes project pan. I chose on Wednesdays We Wear Pink, and for that I rolled in my Dan Visit liquid blush in the shade Cool Pink. This looks like a Rare Beauty blush, but it is not a Rare Beauty blush. This is a random Amazon knockoff that I purchased and actually ended up really, really enjoying. It's a beautiful, beautiful cool pink liquid blush, and I ended up using it, I don't know, 5 times maybe less than 5 times. I just, between this blush here and this blush here, I just did not have the time to reach for this. The next product I was not able to complete was for Nightmare on Panning Street. I chose Halloween, which was basically for a mask. And for that, I rolled in my Zombie Beauty Zombie Pack. This is a Korean skincare mask that is one of those egg white based masks that kind of hardens on your skin and kind of crinkles up. I just found this to be, I could have finished this. To be honest, I could have finished this product. There were 8 of them. I managed to use 3. There's another one sitting over on my sink over there. If you're counting them and wondering where my math is, that's where my math is. So I used 3. I have 5 left. It was a lot of, this is the sort of thing that it comes with an activator. So you open this up, there's powder inside, you pour in the activator, you stir it up, you spread it on your face. It's super slimy and uncomfortable. Then it dries down really hard and kind of crinkles up your face. I liked the mask. I felt like my face felt very smooth and very clarified afterwards. But the process of using it, the experience of using it was kind of unpleasant. The sliminess, the hard dry down, kind of unpleasant. It was also really difficult to remove. So it was the sort of thing that I was only ever going to use before a shower. And to be perfectly honest, me squeezing a shower into my day tends to be a little spur of the moment. And so I usually don't have a whole lot of lead up time for a mask like this. So with those 2 things combined, I didn't get through it. They're nice, but they're not life-changing. And I find them such a pain to use that I just don't know that it's worth it for me, to be honest. In any case, we did not get through those. I only have 2 other products to share with you that I was not able to complete in this project. One of them was for the project Golden Girls, and I chose the prompt Rose. For that, I rolled in my Becca Rose Gold highlighter. She's actually shattered, this one. That's not the reason I didn't use it. I am still perfectly willing to use a shattered powder. I use this one. This is definitely too deep for me to use as a highlighter, so I use it more as a blush topper. I just did not reach for it. I think I reached for it less than 5 times, and I have to consider to myself the fact that I might be hanging on for it just for the packaging, because I love Becca's packaging. Obviously, if I wasn't able to reach for it more than 5 times over the last year of my life, we need to consider that maybe this needs to go. Another one that I only reached for just a handful of times was this little mini eyeshadow palette for Pat McGrath. Now I rolled this one in for tiny pans, pan or 100 uses, and I did not anywhere near approach 100 uses. I think the one that I was trying to work on was this little lilac shade here, and I just did not. Oh gosh, she's so pretty. Look at how pretty she is. That's the reason why she escapes. Oh my gosh, she is so pretty. Why have I not used it? I just did not think to reach for it, to be honest. I have been wearing a lot more kind of minimal makeup over the last year, and when I'm wearing minimal makeup, eyeshadow really is the first thing to go. So I am actually participating in Pan That Palette this year, and I have not yet updated even once because my progress has been so slow on that eyeshadow palette. So this one, honestly, she just didn't stand a chance. But oh my goodness, look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? While I do think I will consider decluttering this Becca, I am definitely not decluttering this eyeshadow palette, at least until I've given myself a little bit more of a chance to redeem my dismal performance with it in this project. Those are all of the products that I did not quite manage to meet my goals on in this project. So that is only 7 products. Now, I only ever rolled 29 products into this project because the first prompt was for the 50 Shades of Brown project pan. I was actually participating in 50 Shades of Brown when I began Throwback 30, and I didn't have anything left over that I thought I had a chance of completing that I could put into this project. So I just didn't even roll anything in for that prompt. So I only worked on 29 products throughout this project. So a completion rate, that's 21 out of 29 products. I'm actually really, really pleased with that. This project was a load of fun. I'm so glad that I participated in it. I actually managed to finish some really momentous things, like my first blush, I also managed to finish my Dior Backstage foundation. That was another one that was really exciting for me, as well as multiple skincare products that had kind of been just sort of languishing in my collection a bit, not getting the attention they deserved. So, and it actually really did help me with my sense of FOMO, my wanting. I am definitely one of those people that feels the need to join every single project, but especially now, I just do not have the time for that. So this project really helped me scratch that itch, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm so pleased with the progress that I managed to make on these products during this project. I will be back at you probably next month with my intro to the 4th round of this project. Until then, thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.